Welcome to Road to Hope. I'm your host, Bianca Jade. On this episode, we are in Fort McMurray and we take a look at the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo. So often when we think of this region, we think of the oil capital of Canada. But as you and I are about to see, this region is famous to people giving back. We start off with a dispatcher who brings calm to this community.
911, what's the address of the emergency? Hi, my name is Tara Foster. I'm a senior dispatcher with the municipality of Wood Buffalo. I answer the 911 lines for police, fire, ambulance, and I dispatch for fire and for medical calls. Do you see flames or smoke? Okay, what type of building is this, Marie? There is no typical day with a dispatcher. Everything can be different. We can come to work and be bombarded with calls and be run off our feet with every call under the sun, or can be a slow day and we can be hoping for the phone to ring, but no day is typical. The guys tell us sometimes they can hear it on our voices when we dispatch if they know it's a serious call or not. Medic 1, Pumper 1. Medic 1, Pumper 1. Respawn Morimoto Drive to the SNI, 14 Charlie, hot response. Every call can have its rewards. Helping people, being the first person that they contact and that you can help them. Upper leg or lower leg? Okay. Is there any serious bleeding? The sad calls are the toughest part of it. They can take a lot out of you, even though we're not on scene seeing it firsthand. It's almost worse because it's in your head, right? So you don't really know what's going on. Another tough part is not knowing what happens after the fact. You always want to get some resolution to know if it was a good outcome or a bad outcome, but once we transport them and the patient is, at the hospital, not knowing if they made it out all right, that can be a tough part of it as well. Most memorable call, talking through a son doing CPR with his dad, and I did find out later that he made it. So that was probably the most memorable, especially after hearing the call later that he did make it. That was just, how do you beat that, right? So I talked this kid through CPR and he saved his dad's life. So that was pretty amazing.
People give back to their community for many different reasons, and as we're about to see, this lady, she decided to give back after she retired because she believed in the community of Fort McMurray.
She wandered in one day, came in the door, had seen our sign, was looking for a place to volunteer, and we had new signage out, so she saw our big new sign and came in, and she's been here ever since, thank goodness.
Volunteers, well, they come and go. Some only assist an hour here, an hour there. Yet others find a way to dedicate a large portion of their time for a good cause. Meet Bev Aiken, a retiree who stumbled into the Wood Buffalo Food Bank to help and hasn't left.
I come every day.
Why do you come every day?
Well, I retired last June and I was looking for something to do. I can't sit around. And I wanted something physical. I've sat behind a desk for 40 years and I wanted something different.
She's had a couple of holidays to go back to Ontario, and she always feels bad about it. I'm like, no, seriously, what she does here is amazing. She could pretty much do any job. I could leave her alone here in the warehouse and it'd be totally fine.
I sort food, I weigh food, I check the expiry dates, stock shelves, make hampers, sweep the floors, just anything they need me to do.
Bev takes the backstage role and prides herself in what she can accomplish, which goes unnoticed by the public. This has earned her the support from the staff of the Wood Buffalo Food Bank and her husband.
He would prefer if I had a paying job, but he said I'm happy what I'm doing, so he's okay with it. He's proud of me, I hope.
I know that just the community being the way it is, we generally retire and move away. So we don't have that retirement community, but Bev is a prime example of what the retirement community is, or could be.
I guess the sense of satisfaction. When I go home at day, I know I've done something, and actually the people here are so nice to work with. I mean, we're here to help people, and I really, that's what I like about it. Yeah, so it's, and like I said, I'm very satisfied when I go home at the end of the day that I've done something to help somebody. So
Often on Road to Hope, we have the opportunity to speak to many different community advocates. But up next, we meet two parents that have gone above and beyond for their little Lily.
I don't know. I can't picture my life without her. I can't picture my life without any of them. The thought of her not here is... I don't even want to think about it.
A new life means new beginnings. These new beginnings should be cause for celebration, not a cause for stress. Little Lily was unfortunately born with a rare birth defect, which was unexpected news to say the least for her family. Despite the news, her family is doing everything they can to make sure she gets the lifestyle she deserves.
She was born with congenital heart failure, meaning she had multiple issues with her heart. She had multiple VSDs, which is holes between the left and right ventricle of the heart.
Basically, the holes in Lily's heart weren't allowing the blood flow to move properly, and it was cutting off blood flow to her lower extremities and organs. So she had enlarged kidneys, her feet were cold and stayed purple, and as a few days after she was out of hospital, she just quit feeding.
I knew there was something wrong. Finally, somebody's listening. Finally, somebody's seeing this, realizing it, and taking action on it. But another part of me is, okay, wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. I have to wake up, like I'm pinching myself. And when Dr. Alnami was telling me what was going on in the hospital, I was looking at him and his mouth was moving, but nothing was going into my ears. And I was trying so hard to understand, and it was like that for a good month in the hospital, even in Edmonton.
Yeah, when she got to Edmonton, she was on her last legs. If it wasn't for the medevac down and the doctors here catching it as quick as they did, she wouldn't have made it. She wouldn't be here at all.
It's something that I wouldn't wish on anybody. Nobody wants their kids sick, but going through it, I don't know, like, you just do it.
We obviously spent all the time in the hospital, educated ourselves with the doctors, lots of homework on the conditions, side effects, medications, and just how to take care of her when we did get home.
But you gotta look at the positive. Like, things could have been so much worse, right? And things could still be worse. Like, we gotta be, I don't know, I'm just a positive person. No good to reflect on the sad or the ifs and whats and could-haves. It's past, we deal with it. And
someone was always home, whether school functions, one parent would be home, one would go with her to keep her healthy. And it's best we could do.
And I know that I could wake up tomorrow and she'd be dead and gone, and I'm not gonna worry about that, because you know what, she's gonna make it, and that's the way I'm gonna be. She's gotta make it.
So often on this program, we meet many frontline workers who give back to their community, and it becomes their pride and joy. But when it comes time for them to retire, how do they pass on the torch?
It's said that all men are created equal, that a few men become firemen. So when someone like Conrad Dion hangs up their jacket, the memories flood back.
He was big and loud and larger than life. He always, when he was at the table, there was some fun being had.
Never a dull moment. Always got something to say. He's always quick on the ball. You can hit him with a joke and he'll hit you right back. So,
I'll miss that joking around. The guys you can count on. Called just the other day. I needed a favor. I made one phone call, and within minutes I had a truck at my door giving me a hand. So just, hey, thanks guys. It's that type of friendship and camaraderie you build with the guys over the years. That's what I'll miss.
After 32 years, Battalion Chief Dion is saying goodbye to the Department of Fort McMurray, leaving it in the hands of a new generation, a generation that has learned from the experience Dion has provided.
He was here during the formative years of the fire department, and like you say, we build on what he's done and what they've done before us, and stand on their shoulders and go forward.
There's been great memories. I mean, just, very rewarding. It's something you did. May not seem like it was much at the time, but something you did, could have changed a person's life. That means a lot. I'm going to go into my retirement, next phase in life. We'll leave this for the young guys to do, and I'll move on, make a seat available for them.
Another member with lots of experience that a lot of us have looked up to. A lot of the junior guys can take a lot of that, a lot of what he's taught them, a lot of what he's experienced and learn from that, progress from that. It's going to be tough losing someone like that.
I've definitely got no regrets about the next, moving on to the next phase or any fear. I come from a large family and we're spread out around, so I hope to catch up to them and, basically catch up on what we missed out on, So.
Firefighters are a family in their own right as they spend many hours and many days together. Now is the time for Dion to enjoy his retirement with his personal family, something he's looking forward to, even though he will be missed at Fire Hall 1.
Of course, we're all going to miss him. It's tough. It's tough. It's like saying goodbye to a family member. A family member's moving away. So.
The funny thing is, even though Dion will not be wearing the uniform, he will always be a fireman.
See you down the road, folks.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Road to Hope. To learn more about the programs that we've shown, please follow the information on your screen. Thanks for watching.